It's your boy Sean T. I'm sitting here with Thizzler right now. Make sure you subscribe below. I didn't even like that beat. Like I was playing around, experimenting with that. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get some Indian vibes going and, you know, some percussion, and it was just a totally out of the box type thing. Like I was like, this is not my normal stuff. I'm gonna just try this and then I'm gonna move on to the next beat. So I did that. I let a few people hear it. Nobody didn't take to it. It was like, I'll go to the next one, you know? So I was like, all right. So it's cool. So, and I'm gonna tell this story. He knows too. I don't know if you guys know who Furious is, but Furious is the first person that heard that beat. And Furious is, you know, he works with Ghazi Empire. So Furious was like, man, that's the beat. I need that. I want that, you know? So he kind of recorded to it and did a song to it, and he was rocking shows with it, and people was feeling it, like what he did with it. But he never like took care of me and was like, Sean, I'm gonna get that beat or whatever. He just was like rocking it, and I was like, all right, man. So one day, I got the beat to Mac Dre, and he heard it. I was playing tracks, and he heard it. And he was like, what's that? And I was like, just some beat I made or whatever. He's like, no, I'm fucking with that. I was like, okay. He said, watch what I do to it. So then he took it or whatever and did the beat, did the song or whatever. And then I heard what the vocals were, and I was like, that's crazy. They gonna go crazy to this. And he was like, I already know, Cuddy. They gonna go crazy. I was like, okay, so when he heard that, you know what's crazy about that too is all of this happened like in maybe like a month or two. And then he wasn't even with us no more after that. It was like quick, like he did the Feelin Myself. It got circulated somehow out there and people were playing it. And it was getting bigger. It was like getting a buzz. And then he was like, when I come back from Kansas City, we gonna knock out an album or something, we gonna do something. I was like, it's all good. This is like right around Halloween. And they're playing the song on the radio strong now out here in the Bay. And then we got that news, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's crazy, man. He didn't even get to see. He didn't get to see it. He didn't get to hear it on the radio. He didn't get to like even see like the reaction of people to it. I don't even think he performed it. I don't even think he performed that song yet. Cause I see there's videos and they got the song playing and he's just dancing, but I don't think it was to that song, somebody put the music with it. But yeah, he didn't even get to perform that. It was crazy. And then at one point, he was like, cause Mr. F.A.B called me, he's like, Sean, you did this Feelin Myself beat? I was like, yeah. Cause I was telling Dre, I was like, Dre, Sean did that beat. And he was like, I don't know, did Sean do that one? You know, like, cause it was a whole bunch of stuff that he was doing at the time. He was like, yeah, Sean did that one. So it's crazy, man. Like, rest in peace, Mac Dre, man. That was the homie for real, man. He was a stand-up dude too. Real humble cat too. I met Dre like way back in the day. We used to do shows. I used to do shows with Mac when he was young. Like I think Mac was like 16 or something, and we were doing shows like what's that? Santa Clara County Fairgrounds, like down there in San Jose. We were doing shows like that with it was a group called the Youngsters from New York or something, and a couple of other Onyx, the Youngsters. So we were all on that bill. It was like, that's how I met Mac Mall, and you know, Dre was with him and stuff like that. So it was like, I think the Youngsters, Onyx, me, and Mac Mall on the bill. So like that was like one of the first times that I had been around Mac Dre, and we was cool from that point on, you know what I'm saying? And And then I used to do a lot of shows back then. I was doing shows like 2 or 3 a week. So all over the Bay. So we always tapped in with each other. We'd be doing a show or we running into each other or we run into each other backstage or something like that, you know. And then we was like, we gotta work, man. Cause he was affiliated with some of my other partners from Wash House Music. So that's how that went down. That was all part of a Wash House production, like the Thizzle, Washington, and what's the other one? Ronald Dragon, and all of those was like Wash House albums. So I used to do a lot of production for them. When F.A.B came to me with that idea, I thought it was, I'm gonna keep it 100, I thought it was corny. I was like, you want me to flip the Ghostbusters beat? And he was like, yeah, it'll be dope, I'm telling you, and I'm just call it Ghost Ride the Whip or whatever, and talk about, you know, walking alongside of the cars and doing all of this, you know, it's the HYPY movement, we on this. I was like, okay. So I'm listening to him and I'm like, you sure you think that's gonna work? He's like, yeah. He said, well, just see what you could do with it. So I didn't know how I was gonna structure that beat or nothing, but I watched the movie, I listened to the song, and I can't even tell you how I came up with it and made it sound hyphy and all of that, but it was crazy. It was a crazy way I put it together, but when I did put it together and then I heard his rap and everything, I was like, yeah, this could be cool. Like it could catch because the Ghostbusters and all of that. But so we did it. We actually kind of had some issues with it because once I did it, like I think when I first did it, I sampled it. I sampled certain things. And then they was like, oh, you can't use this or whatever. So I had to go back in. Now I had to be extra creative. I'm like, okay, so now I got to make it my own and take the sample out and make it different. So I did that, and then they was like, okay, you can use that. So then that's when it comes down to the video. So we go to LA, and he's like, I'm gonna get the actual Ghostbuster car. I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna have the car in the video. I said, he said, the car from the movie. I was like, how you gonna do that? Like, he's like, yeah, Atlantic is gonna set it up or whatever. So he did that. It was crazy. That was a unique production. I ain't gonna even lie. That was a unique production that I was part of, and that was a big hit for F.A.B too. But for some reason, I don't know if the radio didn't want to play it or if it didn't move the way it was supposed to move, because the video was big, everything was big. But I think like there was some issues with the original person that Ray Parker Jr. or whatever. So even though I redid everything and did it my way, it was still some type of issues. They didn't want to play it, or they didn't want the car to be in the video, or they was just tripping. I don't know. But yeah, that was a big song though. That was actually a good choice. That was like one of those Feelin Myself type beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, so me and F.A.B got a couple. Like I just did the Ghost Ride. Still Feelin It for him, where I did like the Mac Dre Feelin Myself, but did a new rendition to make it sound like, you know, like the new younger age now. And then he had all of those artists on there. He had Snoop and, you know, all them cats on there that got on it, on the remix. But then I did another one for F.A.B too, Kicked Out the Club. That was a big one. That was like one of his big hits too. That's my little bro too right there, man. Shout out to F.A.B. That's just because actually Too Short and 40 was in Atlanta. Well, Too Short was in Atlanta. He was living in Atlanta, so he dealt with Little John a lot. And a couple of times I was at the studio at Stankonia Studios, Outkast's studio in Atlanta, and Lil Jon was there, F.A.B was there, E40, like, we rolling dice, we all in the studio, you know what I'm saying? So Lil Jon, I guess, adapted to like, okay, this is their style right here. This is E40, this sounds like some E40. Like I remember one day I was there and he was playing some beats and he was like, 40, what you think it is? And I was like, that sounds like some bass shit. Like, so 40 must have got him influenced to make some bass shit. So I don't know. I mean, it worked out though. Cause Tell Me When to Go is crazy. That was a big one. That was a big hit. And that sounded like a intertwined Lil Jon style with the Bay Area sound. Yeah. You know what? I always had that interpretation of the Bay Area too. It's like when I moved to Atlanta, I saw that. When I moved to Atlanta, I saw the artists help one another down there. Like everybody is all on one. They move like one band, one sound. You know what I'm saying? Everybody move together. When it's an award show, everybody move together. When it's shows, just period, they move together. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way it used to be out here, but it ain't like that no more. And we need to get back to that, because if we was back to that, we'd be all winning. Everybody would be winning if we did that. It's not a competition. It's all, let's make it happen together, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they be doing. That's why they all winning. You know what I'm saying? That's why they have a lot of success on the radio and pulling themselves up, because with one person go out, they be like, man, come with me. Come jump on this. Come do something on this. Out here, it's like, man, I don't want him on my, I ain't messing with him, man. I'm trying to do this. You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole different mentality. Like I noticed too, I could say this, like people in the South and the Midwest, I don't know too much about New York. I haven't dealt with too many New York artists, but like just dealing with artists from like Grand Hustle or whatever, like Lil Duval, or when he was doing his thing, like I used to see them at the comedy club all the time. And T.I. and all of them cats, like when they say something like, yeah, man, let's hook up, man, I heard you do beats or whatever. Killer Mike, for instance. That's like an artist that I dealt with. And he was like, yeah, man, come, I just met him. He like, man, come to the studio tomorrow, man, and bring some beats with you and play them for me or whatever, so I could pick something. And I was like, all right. So me being from the Bay, I'm thinking like, okay, when somebody says that, it's just like, as soon as they leave, they're like, fuck him, you know. I ain't dealing with him. I just told him that just to tell him, you know what I'm saying? So the next day he called me like, what's up, man, you coming through? And I'm like, you was for real? He was like, yeah. So I go to the studio, it's at his house. Like he don't even know me. Like he invited me to his house to come play beats, and now we got a relationship, you know what I'm saying? So like people be real down to earth, like, Sean, come to the studio. I'm gonna have a bunch of producers come, and you guys come, and everybody get to play a few beats, and the artist is gonna be in there. And then I get to the studio, it's like 5 producers, they all got their laptop. We're sitting in the studio, and then, okay, go ahead, play yours. You play yours, you play yours. It's just like a coordination thing. I'm like, man, this would never happen out there, you know what I'm saying? It would be like, man, I don't want none of them here when I'm playing mine. And, ooh, you know, I'm just trying to I'm the one that's finna sell the beat or whatever. It ain't even like that, man. It's crazy though, but I just seen that difference from the Bay Area mentality to anybody else, which is, I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with it, but like I said, if everybody had that humble chip in their body, they would go further. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always feel like that's why I'm so blessed to be in this game so long and to still be able to do anything that I want to do and not be that older producer that people be like, oh, that's Sean T. You know, making them old beats. I don't like, want to hear that shit. You know, like, people be getting at me still right now. Sean, I need some beats. I need this. I need that. So, I mean, and I think that's the reason why, because I've always been humble and fair with whatever I do. I mean, I ain't giving you no beats for nothing, but you know what I'm saying? We gonna work something out to where I can help you, you can help me, or however it works, you know? You feel me? It's like, we just need to be humble in whatever we do, and we can all get to the bag. That's the golden rule.